Cowboy Logic, Episode 4. A good horse knows when to run and when to rest. Back to Cowboy Logic. I'm Ann Dunbar. Today's wisdom is one that I'm still learning, even as I share it with you. A good horse knows when to run and when to rest. Sounds simple, but for those of us who've been taught to never give up, to keep going no matter what, learning when to rest, well, that might be the hardest lesson of all. A good horse, a really good horse, isn't the one that runs itself to death. It's the one that knows how to pace itself. It knows when to give everything it's got and when the cattle are running and when there's work to be done and especially when its rider needs it most. But it also knows when to slow down, when to conserve its strength, and when pushing harder would break something that can't be fixed. That wisdom, that balance between running and resting, that's what keeps a horse working for years instead of burning out in months. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not a good horse. Not yet. I'm still learning. My dad used to tell my brother and myself all the time that you never give up. You never quit. You keep going no matter what. Now, my dad was in the military for a while and got some of that back with him and taught us the same thing. And my dad lived by those words. Now, that man suffered 5 heart attacks. Yes, 5. And he still kept going. He broke his neck and his back twice, and that man still kept going. All because his love for my mom, for me, and for my brother. He had to work to keep us all fed and housed, and sometimes things didn't work out the way he wanted. But he never stopped trying. When my mom died, we thought my dad would follow soon after. They were everything to each other. But he didn't. He fought to stay with us until we were all grown. So I learned early, you keep going no matter how hard it gets and no matter how much it hurts. You keep going. Now, I've been sick on and off my entire life. Chronic illness doesn't care about your dreams or your deadlines or the characters that are in your head begging for their stories to be told. And I've lost everyone. My mom, my husband, my dad, and finally my brother. There were times, so many times, when I wanted to stop, when I wanted to quit, when I didn't know how to keep going. But my dad's words, they were still there, saying, never give up. You never quit. You keep going no matter what. And then there was this song my mom used to sing to me when I was a kid, and one of the verses stayed with me, and it became my lifeline. One day at a time, you can keep going just one day at a time. So that's what I did. One day, then another, then another. Now, this is what I'm learning all these years later. What I wish I'd learned sooner. That keeping going doesn't mean never resting. My dad kept going, and I'm so grateful he did. But I also watched his body break under the weight of never quit. I watched him push until there was nothing left to push with. And I've done the same thing. I've pushed through the illness, through the grief, and through the exhaustion that comes with it. I told myself that resting meant I was quitting, and quitting was never an option. But a good horse knows when to rest, and resting isn't quitting. Resting is what lets you run again tomorrow. In my writing, I've learned this the hard way. I'll push and I'll push, forcing words onto the page even when my body and my mind are screaming for me to stop. And you know what happens? The words aren't good. The story doesn't flow at all. And I end up having to rewrite it all anyway. Now, but when I rest, when I let myself stop for a day or a week or however long I need, the characters come back stronger. The words come easier. And the story finds its truth. So yes, Never give up and never quit. Keep going no matter what. My dad taught me that, and it's kept me alive through things I didn't think I could survive. But remember this, the other part, one day at a time. Rest when you need to. A good horse knows when to run and when to rest. But both things can be true. You can be strong enough to keep going and wise enough to know when you need to stop and catch your breath. The goal isn't to run until you collapse. The goal is to keep running, not just today, but tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is rest. He's Cowboy Logic. A good horse knows when to run and when to rest. It is still one I'm learning, but I'm trying, and I'm doing it one day at a time. Now, thank you for listening to Cowboy Logic. My books, starting over in Montana, Anya's Salvation, and Bet's Christmas Gamble, were all written one day at a time through grief and illness and everything else life threw at me. They're proof that you can keep going, and they're also proof that it's okay to rest. I'll see you next Saturday. Until then, be kind to yourself. You're carrying more than anyone knows.